Good evening. Welcome to the May 16th, 2024 meeting of the Community Preservation Committee. It is 5:30 p.m. and we are meeting in the Lakeville Library at 4 Precinct Street. We do have a quorum this evening. If we want to go down.
Starting with me?
Sure.
Nancy LaFave, I represent the Lakeville Historical Commission.
Barbara Standish, member at large.
Susan Spieler, member at large.
Michelle McEachern, Planning Board.
Paula Boone, Park Commission. Nancy Yates, Conservation.
And tonight we are missing John Lucy, and Amy Knox has tendered her resignation from the committee as well as Open Space, so she is absent tonight as well.
Kathleen.
And Kathleen is not here currently, but she should be calling in, so we will announce it when she joins. LakeCAM is recording this evening. Is anyone else recording? Hearing none, we'll move on to our first agenda item, which is a tribute to Martha Mike Schroeder. And after a courageous battle with bulbar ALS, our dear Martha Mike Schroeder has passed away. Anyone who had the pleasure of knowing Mike knows how long she had pushed for Lakeville to pass CPA. She was part of the initiative in 2006 and 2016 as well. In 2006, she wrote a series of 5 letters to the citizens of Lakeville, which were published in the Middleborough Gazette on behalf of the Lakeville Community Preservation Action Committee. Her letters detailed what CPA could do for Lakeville. Each letter addressed a different topic, titled "The Role of Town Voters and the CPC in the Management and Control of the Funds," the types of projects, especially in Lakeville, that may qualify for use of the funds, what this act will mean to Lakeville taxpayer pocketbooks now and in the future, and the last letter responded to questions readers had asked about CPA. The third time Mike participated in campaigning for CPA in Lakeville was in 2021 through 2022 when it finally passed. Mike was one of the consistent campaign group members who spent time walking neighborhoods, handing out flyers, attending standouts outside various locations around town, and hosting the CPA event at Lakeside Landing. Shortly after Lakeville finally passed CPA, she moved to Vermont to be closer to her daughter and family. I have included one of my personal emails from her that shows she was still thinking of Lakeville, even from her new home in Vermont. The photo is worth sharing, and her sense of humor shines through. So that her email can be found in our agenda packet. I'm not going to read it because I don't think I can maintain myself. But it's sweet, and it's got a beautiful picture of the moon right after a eclipse. And I just wanted to give anybody else a chance to share their thoughts and memories of Mike Schroeder that you might have.
Very active in litter lifters, Lakeville litter lifters, and she was a native plant person who loved to share her plants with the Lakeville Garden Club as well as citizens at large. She's always donating material. Very generous person.
Yeah.
Good sense of humor.
Yeah, Mike was on Concom for years.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
And was helped out with the Viggers property when Sarah Kulikovich was here. She worked with Sarah Kulikovich and try to get some stuff done on the Viggers property, like trail clearing and invasive. Mike did all the removal of the invasives and planted that garden at Tamarack, so perennial garden.
Yeah, she was a special lady, that's for sure.
Very knowledgeable.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Yeah.
knowledgeable.
Irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Like, she knew where all of the protected species of plants were, and she would go and check up on them annually and make sure nobody was picking them or disturbing them. And I didn't know her for very long, but I feel like just that short amount of time working with her, it was a big impact.
Right.
And I think, she's one of the reasons that we have CPA in town today, so I think it's definitely worth thinking of her and taking a moment to just consider everything that she did for the town. So if no one else has anything to add, I will move on to number 2. Review and possible vote on non-municipal project grant agreement. So we have the red line copy from town council in our packet, and then we have the cleaned up version that I took all of those edits and integrated them into the draft that we have. Has everyone had a chance to review this?
I did, on page 3,
Mm-hmm.
under project status report, number 7,
Yeah.
the recipient shall provide CPC with a quarterly written project status report update on the progress toward completion of the work. How do you do quarterly towards, this is Kathleen.
Okay.
Hello? Oh, hi. Let me turn you up. Put you near the microphone, okay?
Hi, Kathleen.
Oh, you're not on speaker. All right, now you're on speaker. Go ahead.
Okay, great,
Yeah, there
thank you.
are. Okay.
All right, so we have Kathleen Barrick joined at 5:36 PM. Kathleen, we just went over agenda item 1. Did you have anything?
Okay.
Did you want to add anything about Mike Schroeder?
No, that's fine, yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're on agenda item number 2. We're going over the grant agreement, and Nancy was just going to give us some feedback.
Right. I was just reading number 7 where it said the recipient shall provide a quarterly written project report toward the completion of work. So how do you do a quarterly towards the completion of work? That was just confusing to me.
So it's just the status report. I think we have a draft, we have a sample of it in the back of our plan. And they're just, so this is for non-municipal
Right.
projects. So
Right.
it's one of the ones that I think we want to be able to keep a good,
Track.
yeah, a good hold
We
on
have less
what's going
connections
on.
with them.
Yeah, because
Right.
it's outside
No,
of the
I
town.
get that we want reports, but how would you get, wouldn't it just be a quarterly report? Why would it say toward the completion of the project?
I think it's just an update on their
Thing,
on
okay.
their progress towards completion.
Yeah.
What would happen is you would start the project and then halfway, a quarter of the way through, you'd have a status report. But when you get to the fourth quarter, that would be the final report, right?
Well, it depends on how.
Assuming that it's
Yeah, if they
it's
can
done
get
in
it
a
done.
timely fashion.
Right, right.
Okay. I think what we need to do is actually, when you give them the packet, you need to have 4 sheets included with their sheet that says this is a quarterly report, something that they have to fill out and they actually have and see, and so that way they remember that it's going to be quarterly, because I don't know that most projects have that kind of
Okay, so,
paper page.
So can't it just say update on the progress of the work? No, you got that toward
so do you want to take out
completion? Just
quarterly?
take-
Well, the name of this report is project status report, so
Okay.
we shouldn't take out the name of it, but if you want to change it.
Can't we just take
from
out
quarterly-
toward completion and not change anything else?
Do you want to use quarterly?
Yeah, they should be quarterly. It's supposed to be quarterly, but I'm
Okay.
just saying this should match.
So what do you want to take out?
Toward completion.
Update on the progress, okay, just progress of the work. So
Yes.
take out, okay,
Yep.
gotcha, all right,
So they're not confused.
okay.
That's it.
All right.
That's all.
The only thing I thought that we might want to consider on number 6, project liaison, is listed as the planning department. So would we rather do what we're doing with the municipal agreement and assign somebody as a project liaison from this committee? Is that
Oh, the
working?
same thing?
Yeah, I could just
Yeah.
screenshot, or, you know,
Yeah.
snag that
I just
language.
assumed we
and I
would
can-
be doing both, with both, any kind of a project, we just do a liaison, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll change that, I'll just add that instead of
Okay.
planning department, or, because it just says, or such other municipal officer or department as the liaison. So I'm gonna just take that out and replace it with, well, the language that we have for our,
Is the planning department
MOU.
the planning board?
so
Is that what they were
it's,
referring to?
so we don't really have a planning department now that we don't have a planner, and I know the position's in flux. So I think if we can just use the same language and have a designated
But if we do
liaison.
have a town planner, we would assume it would go through them, or in addition to them?
I don't know, because it doesn't really specify. It says planning department or other, as if we could designate somebody else to be that liaison. So CPA could use our administrative budget to hire somebody. So it does, you know what I mean? It could be up to this committee's, determination.
Like if it was a really complicated project, we would need a liaison that understood the
Right.
ins
Well,
and
for none
outs
of
of a
us
really
felt comfortable
complicated.
assuming that
Yes.
responsibility too. If it was a complicated project,
Right.
we might not have the ability to
Right.
oversee something like that or be the liaison person.
Right.
Right.
But we also, would we really want to expend CPA administrative funds for a project that maybe they should be,
They
the
still need
applicant should
oversight, no matter what, even if,
Mm.
it's kind of like when we hire a consultant.
Mm-hmm. But
They
usually
pay
it's-
for it, but they
Right.
work for us.
Right, so
So
they're
I
usually
don't know if we
paying
can
for
do,
it.
what is it, 5344G, can we do that? I wonder if we can accept that, whereas they pay for it, the consultant, but they work for us. That's what we do in Concom, and that's what the planning board does.
Right,
But
but
we're sort
the
of
only,
outside a little bit of being a town department. That those are town departments that all
But it's
help
it's
each other, right?
yeah, but
it's
a
like
law.
a peer review for, a project. But the problem is, if they're asking for money, chances are they might not have money for that.
Well, maybe they would have to incorporate it in
So I guess that would
their
probably,
budget.
so
Or
it
that
would-
could be their,
part of their application.
yeah, but that could be their put-in, instead
Right.
of all the money coming out of CPA,
Right.
this is what you have to do for
Right.
your part of
Their
it.
match.
In kind,
Yeah.
like an in-kind,
But so I
This is what
don't-
we'll have, but this is what we would want to see if we're gonna give you the money for this project.
So before we assign a responsibility, do we need to check with the department? For the person
I
in
would
charge
s-
of the department?
I personally would say we should just assign a member of this committee, as we're doing with the municipal agreement, in this case, and project by project, if we come across a project that we say, this seems like something we're gonna need outside consultant work, that would be part of the feedback, probably at a step one, so they could bring that to us in step two. I don't know if it belongs here.
I don't understand what Nancy means by department. Should we ask the
Well, it
department?
says here, the planning department or
They're-
such other. So do we have to check we don't have a town planner right now, but the town
Right.
planner, or if it was the building department, or the building commissioner, or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Because
I don't think they
I don't think so.
Yeah,
No,
I don't think we're not under anybody, we're our own.
No, I know we
entity.
aren't, but I mean,
Right.
if we are saying that we're going to have the planning department, that one needs town government.
Mhm.
We're sort of outside town government. a
Right.
little bit. Before we say that somebody has to do this, do we have to check with them and find out if it's something that's possible for them to do in terms of their budget and everything, to be that liaison person?
So,
But we're talking about changing this language, and when we
Yeah.
change this language, this will go back just for a quick, to town council, and they'll tell us.
Whether it
Yeah.
makes sense
Yeah.
and whether
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
have to do. Okay, so just so that we don't have people thinking we're dictating their new role with us or something without input.
There may be an exception. If you have a complicated project, sometimes there are committees set up, and the committees the people that are assigned to the committees are specialists in the field, such as if you were doing over Ted Williams Camp, you have to involve
right,
conservation, maybe zoning, and, in this case, maybe a park commission, whatever. Would they be subject to more than that? Is there expertise
I don't
as
think,
overseeing as,
so this
okay.
is, to me, this isn't a question of,
if
what
they-
type of project it is and what sort of, oversight it needs. I think that's gonna be a case by case, depending on the project. This is
And
the
I'm
grant
asking-
agreement. This is something, once the project is approved at town once it's gone through step one, step two, it's gone to
Yeah.
town meeting, it's approved at town meeting, and now they're getting the funds. This is the agreement between this committee and the town and that applicant.
Right, and if that.
So those items should be in place prior to this document.
Right, this is just assigning someone to
Right.
This is-
oversee.
If you
what's being
read
done.
through it, like Nancy said, town council has reviewed it. It was modeled after a similar one. We've combined it with the language from town council. Town council's already reviewed it once. This is, like I said, I had taken the red line version from town council.
Yeah.
This is it, cleaned up, the same thing from town council. So if we make any changes, then we'll go back to town council, and as long as they approve it, then hopefully we can move forward, because we have the historic
Where
society.
somebody doesn't have the money, obviously, that's why they're coming to you. But the project is big enough that it requires a committee, and the people on the committee are the expertise in the fields that applies to the project. Is that acceptable? Rather than getting a planner or whatever.
I think we kind of are the committee. My thought is the language from the other one. Isn't it as simple as saying, can we use the same language that we used in the other one in this one?
So I'm just saying that to
Same
use
language.
from designating
Right.
a member of this committee as a liaison.
Right.
So a member of this committee, just like we're doing with the municipal grant agreement, the municipal agreement, would do it with this grant agreement.
Right, and I think maybe we're getting outside the box. If we do get a complicated project in the future, then we'll have to talk about it then.
Then,
Well,
yeah.
This is just to change this one sentence in here to
Right.
match what's in this is for somebody outside of the town that's asking for money. This is a different agreement. The one that we already agreed to from town entities, right, has language about a project liaison, like I'm the liaison for the park department, which is fine for that project, but in the future,
Each
if something is
project.
beyond us on either one of these agreements,
Right.
we'll have to have a discussion about it,
Right,
is my thought.
yeah.
Well, who is we? You mean we're gonna have a
This
discussion?
committee, yes,
Or
CPA,
the town?
no, us.
Okay.
So did anybody else have any more comments, questions, edits for this? No?
Kathleen, are you still there?
I am. I'm
Okay,
here.
I'm just checking, my phone looks
Yep.
dark, okay, I'm just checking.
Okay, so, do we want to make a motion to make those two noted edits, send it off for town council review? Do we want it to come back for another review, or do we want to conditionally approve it with those two edits?
I would say if it's all right with town council, let's be
Let's
do
done with
it.
it.
Yeah.
If it's not all right with the town
Then it has
council,
to
Then it
back.
will come back.
Okay.
Right.
All right, so just,
So I'll move that.
all right, motion.
Second.
And a second, all in favor?
Do we have to do roll call?
Oh, yeah, roll call because Kathleen's on the phone.
Right, Kathleen's on the phone. Yates, aye.
Any discussion?
Go ahead.
Oh, did
you
we
want
say
discussion?
discussion?
You didn't?
No, do you want discussion?
No, I'm done. I
Okay.
just asked.
All right.
I'm
Right,
asking.
calls for a roll call vote because Kathleen's on the
Yeah.
phone. So Yates, aye.
I,
You gotta say it who you are.
Paula. Oh.
Okay.
Kathleen, do you want to vote?
Yep, I, Kathleen Barrett.
Nancy LaFave, aye. Barbara Standish,
Did you,
aye.
Susan
Yep.
Spiller, aye.
okay,
Kathleen,
great.
aye. All right. Moving on to agenda item number 3. We have review, possible vote on draft revisions for community preservation plan. So we have a nice edited version here. I know,
On page 5, we have to change that, the name of the DHCD.
right, so DHCD is now EOHLC. I did point that out to Sue, so that's a quick enough change to just edit that on page 5 like we did in the other location.
One of these for myself.
And then on page 9, I know Sue, you said you highlighted it for the area-wide medium income for family of 4.
Right.
The CPA Coalition website actually has a document. They link a nice spreadsheet that has all of that listed. So we can just insert what's there.
I
Stu
mean,
noted.
that's a
It's-
big difference.
It
from
is
what-
different.
Yeah, because in this plan, it says 156, and in the CPA one, it says 109. That's a big difference. But
Do you know where those figures came from the last time? Does anyone recall?
wasn't it Mark Resnick?
Was it Resnick?
Wasn't he the one that gave it to
I
us?
think it was.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think the senior one was a little bit more than this. I'm not sure. I'll have to look.
Okay, so we can make that
Yep.
change based off of that, it
That
says
chart.
2024.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that then.
I think on this one.
All right.
I'm looking at the draft.
And then I think the rest of the edits, Nancy gave us separate little handout.
And for the description, the commission approved the first one about the letter, either if the property should be on the state inventory or a letter from the commission saying that it's historically significant, even if it isn't on the inventory. The other thing that they
What
were
page?
concerned about was the,
What page you on, Nancy?
I think it was page 11. Historic resources must meet one of the two criteria prior to consideration for funding,
What paragraph?
which is the bulleted two things. And the other thing was the structural assessment. They wanted more information on that from somebody who knows what they cost, because we have no clue. And so they did not vote on that one, but they voted on the other one.
Okay, so we're good with the two bullets.
But we're not, we're still on, we're meeting next Thursday, so we should have all the information for that, and they'll vote on the structural assessment. They were concerned about hardship, and if people have to have a structural assessment, we have no idea how much it costs. And will they have to apply for a structural assessment before they would apply for a CPC grant to do a repair or restoration or something like that? So that was where we were going back and forth.
Didn't we take it out and put it on the, something that might be asked? We put it on the application instead?
It says here that we would have,
Where?
I think we had to have structural assessment.
It was on the old one, but I thought we
I
decided
think it's
to
on
take it out of the
We've talked
plan.
about putting it as a part of a checklist that was specific to historic preservation, where there might be something for conservation or housing that is only specific to those.
That it might be asked for.
Right.
Not, it was a mandatory thing. I
Yeah.
think we had to put it as, this is something that might be asked for, that we would probably say before phase 2 application.
Was this highlighted for a reason?
Yeah,
Plus,
because
the
that
other
was
thing is
left
that
off.
if you're requiring that in stage 2, you have to know about it. If you're accepted at stage 1, and it's a historic restoration or preservation or something like that, and you need a structural assessment, you've got to have a time period that you can get somebody out there to do it, and either find ways of paying for it.
So you,
So
But
that
I
was another
thought we
section.
had discussed that when we did the phase 1 application, that we would do the check marks of the things that you would need for the step 2 application. I thought
Right.
that's what we had talked about.
And I think that's what-
You might need this, this, and this.
I think that's what she's referring to, right?
Right.
About adding those
Yeah.
as check marks, but they've confirmed one of them.
Right, they confirm that it is either on the state inventory or a letter supporting its project because it's significant. It might be something that's not a structure or a
But
site.
did you tell them that it wasn't necessarily mandatory?
No, I didn't tell them that.
Okay, because it sounds like they thinking it was mandatory.
Yeah.
And I think we had decided that we weren't putting it in there, carte blanche as mandatory, it was gonna be,
But I think the way it was written in it initially, it looked like it was mandatory.
yeah, but we decided to take it out, right?
I think so, yeah.
I
I don't
think what the idea was to put it on the checklist so
Right.
that they would know.
Right.
But they need, if it's going to be done, they need to know soon enough after step 1 so that they can do it. Because if they only have 2 weeks
Right.
between the two things, it's not going to be like that now because we're only
Right.
doing it once a year and all
Yeah.
that. But initially, there was concern that.
So are
they
you
would-
saying step 1 or step 2?
Well, once, once you are approved for step one, you've submitted your step one application, and we say, yes, you can, this is something that we can legally let you do.
Okay.
Then for when they get the step two thing, it's gotta be on there and they've got to know about it.
Right.
Okay,
So
so,
it's gonna be required.
So that's where we put the
And it
highlight.
has to be that we're not being arbitrary, that if you have a structure, then probably we need to do that, especially
right.
Right.
To make
in
sure that
non-town
it's-
buildings, because we know about town buildings.
Right, that's why we put that there as a
So then,
placeholder.
so on page 26, which is the step 2 application, Sue did add the checkbox for historical projects. So under that, I would assume we would have to have a little
Yeah, sidebar.
side, yeah, like an
Like two
indentation.
bullets or
yep,
whatever.
And have, so the one is the,
State inventory.
state inventory, and you can basically just copy it from page 11, right?
So
State
what,
inventory.
State inventory?
The other thing is that we said, or if you're not on the state inventory, that you would get a letter from the historical commission. But I would think you'd want a letter of support for the project from the historical commission anyways.
Anyway, right.
They
I
should-
think,
it's
and
like
not just support, but maybe
Concom should have the same thing, whether they would support,
like a vote, I think it said. I thought it said a vote. They would have to vote on it.
From the
And that
historical
would be
commission?
the letter of brief as a result of the vote would come here with the applicant for stage two.
Yeah, so I mean, it's in this plan, so it's basically just restating
Mhm.
that. But then the second bullet, and you said you're still going to determine whether or not this structure
Yeah, they want to know more about it.
report. But we will put that in tentatively with a question mark.
I just don't want people to say, okay, they approved step one, and oh my gosh, what am I going to do now that I didn't know about? And do I have enough time to do it? You know, that
Mhm.
type of thing.
Right. Okay. What else?
Just those, there were a couple that I highlighted because when I was comparing it to to Nancy's, a couple of sentences were left off. Let's see, on page 19. Well, actually 18 first, how to apply for funding. That had been omitted, and I didn't know if it was omitted on, in error, or, so I just put it back there, and
Where on page 19?
18, it's
Oh,
highlighted.
18.
The yellow,
She
Yep.
said it highlighted in yellow.
I have the old one, I'm comparing it to the old one. I mean, showing the project meets both statutory.
The last sentence.
No, I see the last sentence, I'm trying to look at the old copy that I marked up. Tell. The only thing I have marked out from page 18 is something that says showing the project meets both statutory, local eligibility requirements. Oh, because it was in there twice. Yeah, okay, that's all I see.
So it's okay to add it back in? We all agree?
Yeah,
Do you have
and
it?
so the applications can be found in the appendix. All right, you changed that one up too, but you didn't highlight it, but it's there. The next paragraph down, the applications can be found in the appendix of the community preservation plan.
I think we discussed and voted on, or, well, not voted, but I think we discussed that last time.
Yeah, we
right?
did.
To make that
I'm looking at
change.
my old one, and
Oh,
she
okay.
put it in there, but she didn't highlight it over here. I'm
Well,
saying, but
I
it's
think she
there.
only highlighted the ones.
I only highlighted things that had been left out
Okay.
from the two copies.
Okay, all right.
I made all the
Got
other
it.
changes, I just didn't highlight them.
I get it.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then, so then on the next page too?
Yep, 19, it was that last sentence, 2 sentences had been left out as well, so I just put them back there.
Yeah, that's a good one to definitely leave
Yes,
in,
yep.
so.
So that was it. Yeah, that was it, and then Nancy's
Okay,
changes.
my turn.
Yep.
Okay, so I sat down with Todd, and we went over all of it. Anything in red is I just change it. I don't have the other one.
Well, if you turn to
Oh, I
page,
did, up at the top, on page 29, I added the application requirements for exemption are available at Lakeville Senior Center, because I put all the packets over there. The Lakeville Assessor's Office, you can just pick them up there, or at the website. Because some of the older people,
Right.
oh,
you know, they're
yeah,
not good at the online, so I
And
just
that-
want to make sure they know all the places that they can pick them up.
HTTPS, Barbara Standish had noted that, she's like, oh, it's HTTPS, it's HTT.
Oh, okay, then that needs to get changed. I just
Yeah.
copied that verbatim. HTTP?
Yep,
Okay, sorry. I didn't pick that up.
What's that?
Now, the number of
Two Ts instead of
exemptions,
two Ps.
that number wasn't filled in.
Right, because I'm gonna explain it.
Okay,
Let's start from the beginning. Let's start the first thing.
yep,
See how it says levy year?
yep. He didn't like,
Todd suggests fiscal year, levy year, things can come along years after.
okay, so get
So
rid
levy
of,
year should be out,
okay.
okay.
okay?
So it should
Out.
just be fiscal year.
Just be fiscal year.
Gotcha.
Abatements and exemptions should be 2 columns. I went to the assessor's office. There were 26 exemptions for $796.79. So that would be under exemptions, but that number that comes out as one number. So I think we can get it split it up, but it should be 2 columns, because they're gonna be different. It's not, combined, abatements and exemptions are that 2,066 number. Okay, if you just want, that's why I'm here to ask, like, what do you want? If you just want the,
Exemptions?
yeah, exemptions, there were 26.
And it's only the exemption for CPC.
Right.
It's not for anything else that
Right,
people would have.
right. So
But,
there were 26 exemptions
yeah,
to total $796. The other part of that $2,000 are abatements.
okay, so we should
So
have
what do you want, if you
abatements,
do that, then, do
exemptions.
you want 2 number columns too?
I would do the abatements, the number, and then the exemptions and the number.
Yeah.
And maybe like the total figure at the end.
There you go.
So you break it down, so you'd have
Much clearer.
6 total, starting with the fiscal year and going over.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so you'll do like abatements, column, number.
Do we know how many abatements?
Nope.
No. So do we not need that column as a number?
That isn't available, that number isn't available, or? you
It
just don't know
probably
it?
is.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so you can get the number.
Well, I'll ask.
Okay, all right.
All right, so we want a column for abatements, one for abatement
And then the
numbers.
number,
Number
and
of
then the
abatements.
exemption. If I can't get a number for the abatements, if they don't do it like that, then we'll just do abatements, and then we'll do exemptions and number of exemptions, okay?
Okay, and then
I'll
do we
figure out
want
what we can do.
then a total?
Total.
This comes from the assessor's office?
Yeah. Yes.
But if I can't get, if they don't do numbers of abate, well, I guess they should have to,
They
right?
should, I
would
would
think
think
so.
so, yeah.
All
they'd
right.
Because they
know.
have to keep track of that.
I would
Okay.
think so, yeah.
All right, so, okay, so that
Okay.
page, so it's gonna be separate columns. Okay, next page. Page 30. I think I added it at the top, I forget about the red now. because I did this a while ago. But the bottom part for source, you had Todd or whatever, and this is better. This is our, right off our CP1 and CP2, which I brought with me. So
Okay.
everybody has a copy of the CP1, CP2s over there that I don't think we ever handed out. And the numbers for these columns come
Right from it.
right, that's a better source. That's what we get okayed by the state, so it's a better source.
Oh, and actually,
Yeah.
I see that your wording is different
Then
than.
this one here,
Is
yeah.
it?
The wording
All right,
that you
have
got,
both
Stu,
copies
just out
then.
of curiosity, was it a town that had 3%?
I believe so.
Okay, so that's why it says Lakeville is maximized, but really, we haven't maximized.
No,
That was
that's
my,
true.
that's my point. Now you said you
So-
have both of them, you reminded me,
Yeah.
there's no way, we're not maximizing
Yeah.
anything.
Right.
That's why I took it out.
Yep, so that
Okay.
does sound good with the way
Okay.
that Nancy has it.
So just take the one that I had all together out? and
Yeah,
put this-
just take the first line. It's just
Okay.
that first line.
Yep,
So, because I have all this, these columns and everything on my computer, so I can send them out if anybody else wants to see them, but it's gonna be easier for me to fill these in every year, because I'm gonna have it all set up.
Yeah, I think, I mean, Sue can, are you just gonna input these numbers into the,
Do some of them, the
Why don't I
non-availables?
just send you the whole, the pages?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
I'll just
fine.
send you
And then we
the,
can
so,
just stick them
as
in,
long as everybody,
okay?
I guess.
after I fix it.
Yeah,
The non-availables, do they become available at some time? Or-
What?
It says, well, I'm looking at the.
Well, it's because it's our first year. We didn't get the match in the first year. You can't put it in because we didn't get it.
right.
The next
And
page?
tax leads won't come until it's just because of the first year. All that stuff will start rolling
Right.
in.
Mhm.
Okay, page 31.
Mm-hmm,
All I did was put the exact date in.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Page 32.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yep,
All right. Page 33, nothing, sorry.
Right, that'll be
Page
like that.
34, okay. The column, administrative expenses, that number is included in undesignated, we don't need that column at all. The administrative expenses are incorporated at the end of the year into the undesignated, they're not separated
Oh,
out.
but that's only at the end of the year, because,
But
so they
these are
are,
fund balances.
And then it comes-
These are fund balances at the end of the year.
do we wanna see it still, or no? Should it be expended, whatever's
Then
expended?
you gotta minus it off of,
Well, because if it's spent, it's not gonna be put back into the designated at the end of the year, because it'll have been spent. It's only if it's not spent, it goes back into that.
but these are the year-end balances, there's nothing in there at the end of the year. At the end of the year, they take that and put it in there. We'll have
But
a
that's what I'm
year-end
saying.
report that will say, we have it on our expenditures, how much we spent.
But so that, maybe instead of saying admin expenses, as in like what's designated, maybe what's expended. You know, what has been spent, because that won't
But
be.
this is but they're not asking for what's been
balances.
spent, this is balances. This
This
is
is a
what's
yearly
left
thing.
at the end of the year.
The balance in each of the line items. of the
Right.
account.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but
Well, that's
do we
what Todd,
want
that's
to,
not what I'm saying, it's what Todd said.
but do we want to track what's spent
No.
for administrative expenses each year?
Yeah, well, we have it in our regular reports, this is just to go on the plan.
Right. But,
So,
but this is what's going to be visible for residents to see too.
there's no reason you couldn't put the whole year-end report in there.
I'll do that too,
I guess, yeah.
yeah,
All right.
all right.
Because this wouldn't work, if, then you gotta minus the 152, 152, 32, well, that's,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Okay. Well, so then we'll
So-
take out that
column.
column. Okay.
Yep,
You're gonna take it out?
yep. But that would be a
Okay, so
bad
then
idea to put
just
the year-end
here's-
report.
Yeah.
So do you have it in a digital format?
The year-end report?
Okay, send it to me and I'll put it on the website.
Okay. And, oh, I'll wait till we get to, so that's it for me. I'll wait till we get to the budget report, I want the rest of it. So that's okay with everybody?
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good to me. So once we get those edits, the only thing we're waiting on is historic for that item, and then hopefully we can take a vote and get the
Okay, so
plan
no vote
approved.
tonight then.
No vote tonight.
Okay.
All right, so we are on item number 4, status updates on approved 2023 Fall Town Meeting projects from project liaisons.
Tonight, the park department is forming a committee and they are gonna go out to bid. So that's as far as they've gotten, right?
Okay.
Committee tonight going out.
Well, we're gonna talk about forming a committee, if we have a quorum.
And then Kathleen, are you still there?
Kathleen? Hello?
I'm here.
Okay.
Do you happen to have an update on your project that you're a liaison for?
I do not, no.
No? Okay.
I'm the next one.
Nancy.
Yes, the Cemetery Commission and the repairs to Thompson Hill's tables, rocks, stones. I talked to Joan tonight, and she said that the gentleman, because it's a smaller project, he's moving us up to the top of the list, so
Oh,
it's-
good.
he's going to be there, I believe, in the next week or so. So
Good.
that one may be coming in by the end of, before our next meeting, we will have that. That will be done.
So the only one that I got a signed municipal agreement from was Nancy. Did you both get those back from your,
Um,
if
I
not,
remember
maybe?
getting one.
Yeah? So if you could just check with them and make
Yeah.
sure that we have that.
I think,
so that
I
we can-
think I have it, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. And other than that, that's great. And then, so now we
I think Joan
have,
says that she dropped it off at her mailbox and she saw something else, like something else was in the mailbox that she had dropped off quite a while ago, so I'm not sure if it was like an overlap or not.
okay,
We'll find out.
okay. So kind of leads into later on down the list, the signs that Barbara Standish brought in. Here's an example of our signs that'll be going on the projects when they're underway. So once they do start getting underway, let's get those signs out so that people can see that that's what's happening. And
Is this going to be just while the project is going on, correct?
correct,
And then there's another sign when it's finished?
yes, when it's finished, they'll
We
put up
didn't do,
a-
they're all,
But
we didn't do we just did these.
right, so we had
Right.
said that it'll be project dependent. Do we want to get something back on our next agenda to discuss?
A finished
Like a
sign?
plaque or something that we want to
Oh,
see?
the plaque, that's right, yeah.
Is it a plaque or
Or
a
whatever.
sign?
Whatever it is, I think it was project dependent, right?
Right. So,
But are we talking a sign at the end or a plaque?
yeah, I think
Which,
we had discussed having like a little plaque.
I thought it was a sign.
Well, this is during the construction, is the
I thought there
sign.
was a sign at the end, not a plaque, but.
Well, it
I mean,
depends on
Yeah,
what
it
it
depends on
is.
what
It's
the project
really hard
is.
to put a plaque on a cemetery. so
Right.
it's
Right,
not hard.
right.
So we might have to have something at the entrance or something.
Okay,
We'll find out from the cemetery commission.
okay. And I'll add that to the agenda so we can keep that.
So does that mean like a sign going forward?
So I think at the way I thought we were discussing it is at the completion of the project.
Okay, so
When it's ongoing, though, we want something there.
When it's
Yeah,
ongoing, we
it's
have the
got to be
temporary
behind
at
you.
the
sign.
completion of the project, because we just had Tuesday night, the civics group come from Pontotoc High School, is that the sign that we had to put at Tamarack Park when we got the funding from that for the state,
Yeah,
is like all faded out and
Mhm.
so the group came to Concom last night, and over the weekend, they're gonna sand it down and redo it. So I'm just thinking, if we do something like going forward, it's not gonna last forever, so.
well, and I mean,
Depends on what it is, you know,
Right.
what the material is.
Right, right.
because I was even thinking something inside, like Historic Society, like maybe they would just put like a little framed sort of
You'd be using. a
picture on the
plaque,
wall
right,
kind of
right.
thing instead of
You-
outdoors. It
you would be
doesn't
using a plaque,
necessarily.
Yeah.
Historic, whereas the graveside, you couldn't really use a plaque, could you? Right.
Right. So. All right, so moving on
At some
from
point,
there.
all of this first stuff will be over, and we'll know.
We'll have something in place. Yeah. Okay, so all set on number 4. We've got a couple updates, and then I'll add it to the agenda for the sign discussion further.
So I'm gonna take a sign tonight for the cemetery.
Okay, should,
I'll take Kathleen's sign too. for-
and
I know
should
Emily
we?
brought one.
Oh, you already got one?
Yeah, because they're kind of heavy and bulky.
Oh, really?
So when we talked about where to store them, I talked to Frank.
Yeah.
He said that we could store them there. He's got a shed.
Frank?
Yep.
Is that it?
DPW.
Highway department.
That's what you brought?
Yeah.
I'm gonna drag it out so
So-
that it can be,
So do you want me to drop them
okay?
off at the highway?
I mean,
Or can I stop at your place and they're at your house?
Yeah.
Can I stop and pick up 2 tomorrow? Or
Yep, I'll
sometime in
be-
the next couple of days?
Yep.
Whatever makes more sense.
yep, I'll
for you.
be back after in the afternoon
Okay.
tomorrow.
so that'll be 2. It'll just be 2.
Yeah,
That
2
will be
left.
2
Just,
less.
do you want to reach out to Frank and just let him know you'll
Email.
drop them by?
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep,
I like it with the.
It's nice and heavy too.
Great.
Good job.
thank you.
I like the
They're very
white.
nice, very
Mhm.
easily to read. from-
Yeah, it'll stand out.
Definitely.
All right, number 5, review information from Coalition regarding how the town could use Community Preservation Act funds to maintain state subsidized housing units in perpetuity. So this one, I'm just gonna touch on right now because we're hoping to move this meeting along. Anybody who wants to attend the ZBA will be able to. They start at 7, and I know we're gonna be in a pinch. So in the packet was some information. You can see I reached out to Stuart at the Coalition. He gave some helpful advice, gave some examples from a town that was successful in doing this in Amherst. Also said that if you need help, you can reach out to this person. And I actually forwarded this to the select board as well, because it's something, if you read Stuart's email, it says, "The town is not likely to be able to do this with existing staff. It's a complicated transaction. You need a professional who has done this type of project to guide you. We recommend you hire a consultant from the database on CHAPA's website to assist right from the beginning." So I did send that out to the select board because it's something that would need, support from various town departments, et cetera. So this is just something to keep on the horizon. As you can see, in 2026, 4 rental units are set to expire. In 2027, 4 rental units are set to expire. And then in 2039, 100 rental units are set to expire. So something to keep in mind and possibly get something in place so that we might be able to utilize those underutilized housing designated funds towards that.
I'm curious if CPA funds can supplement some of the housing, affordable housing that we already have that's deteriorating a little bit.
Well, it can't be for maintenance, but it could potentially, so that's what this is
I mean,
about, is
like-
maintaining it in perpetuity. That's what this process.
Right.
And he said it's a complicated
Right.
process, but it can be done.
Okay.
So
do
the,
the owners have to agree, whoever owns the project? You can't just mandate?
so because it's already built and now it's rented out, it's set to expire. That's why we have those dates
Right.
from
Right,
Serped.
the expiration date.
Yeah, the expiration date. So it's too late, I think, at that point to do it that way, but this,
It's new construction?
no, this would be to help
Keep these.
maintain these units and keep them from expiring. So that's, if you read through this story of what Amherst did, it
Right.
tells you, how they were able to do it.
I guess I was wondering about the definition of maintenance.
So I guess maintaining the units in perpetuity doesn't actually mean
Repairs.
fixing
Right.
and repairing.
No,
It just
that's-
means
okay.
keeping
Yeah.
them in that subsidized
But it's
bucket.
keeping them affordable units, right?
Correct,
Right.
yes, because
I
if,
get that part, I
Yeah.
just wondered if it stretched beyond to when they get older. So you stretch it out and they get older, where does the money come from when the carpet gets moldy and you have elderly people living in there and that kind of stuff?
well, I mean, I'd assume it would just have to be,
That's why it's
That would be the
complicated.
landlord,
Yeah.
Should be the owners.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
yeah.
say the landlord. It's just that they would, after they come off of that affordability, then they can rent it at any
Any-
rate. This would,
Yeah, but then at any rate, they'd have to change the carpets and fix
Right.
all the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
but I think they
Generated
still would
stuff.
have to anyways.
yeah, I mean, usually when you have a turnover of a tenant.
You should do that anyway.
But so let's
I
move
know.
on from that, that's just something to keep
Okay.
in, you know, we can bring it up again another
Okay.
time.
Yep.
I did send it off, and I will try to keep on that and maybe bring it back after town meeting. Number 6, review possible vote to approve payment for Community Preservation Act project signs invoice. So Barbara Standish, Nancy just showed the signs. Barbara Standish does have this invoice here.
I make a motion to pay the bill.
I have a motion and a second. All in
I'll pay the
favor?
bill. I'll pay the bill.
You want to pay the bill?
I've been paying the bills all along, I'm the treasurer, all right? I'll pay the bill.
All right, so we'll take a vote to have Nancy get this bill
Pay
paid.
the bill.
Pay the bill.
I said second, so I vote to pay the bill, yay.
Okay. All in
Yates,
favor?
aye.
Aye.
We need a roll call.
Aye. Oh, aye.
Kathleen, you want a roll call vote?
Oh. Kathleen? Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
We're voting to pay the bill for the
Oh, yeah,
signs.
definitely. Yes.
Kathleen, yes.
Okay. McEachern, aye.
Spieler, aye.
Standish, aye,
That's
and
aye.
I said aye.
Those signs
All
are
right.
there.
That's everybody.
This is an
Oh,
So
this is where she bought
Nancy
it
will get
from.
the bill paid.
All right, thank you, Nancy.
I will let her know.
All right, moving on.
All right, number 7, quarterly community preservation budget report. So that is a mistake on
Okay.
my part. I thought that it was a quarterly. Nancy said, no, it was just the monthly,
Well,
and they sent it out
you know what?
anyway,
After
so.
you said that, you got me thinking. My quarterly is a January to December, which is March, June, September, and December. If you're thinking about a fiscal year, the quarterly is different. So I went back over all the budgets from when we started, and there weren't any percentages. What really, I'm thinking the taxes are due February, May, August, and November. So I was thinking that that's kind of a different quarterly, so I went back to see how the figures added up on the different years, how we got up to 95%, which is where we are now. We're at, this budget that we're just looking at, we're at 95% of pulling in the money. But the biggest month that we pulled in money from January was actually March, where we took in almost $40,000.
So that's
in
after the
March.
February bills.
After the February bill, yeah.
Is that unheard of?
Yeah, but the end of March.
Hmm.
So, and going back and looking, he didn't do percentages in the very beginning. And then I started thinking about it, thinking, some people pay all the taxes all at once when the tax bills come out, like in whatever, or they pay 2 quarters at once. So I was thinking that quarterly would jump. It doesn't really, so I would like to just keep it to the quarterly of March, June, September and December, and then I
So you
asked
actually-
Todd when we could do a year, the real CP1 and CP2 goes in to do a year-end final would be August, he said.
August.
I said July, he said August. So,
CP. I know.
so
August.
it's,
But so when you say March,
but
is that we're getting the report in April though? That ends for the
March,
full month of
no,
March?
these are all,
So
when I say March, I mean March 31st.
But that's the report ending
Then-
March 31st, so we wouldn't have it until April, sometime in April. Right?
No, I'd be doing the end of February in March.
Okay, so what months do you want me to put this on the agenda going forward?
March,
Okay.
June, September, and December.
Okay.
And because it's just, there's no rhyme or reason why it jumps.
Okay.
February to March, where it should have jumped, it only jumped $1,500.
Okay.
You know, so it's when people pay their taxes. And I think they actually probably pay it, a lot of people pay it before it's due.
Mine just goes through my mortgage company,
Yeah,
so it's automatic.
I
you
think
know?
maybe that's why some
Yeah.
of these, that some months it really jumps and some it doesn't, so.
Yeah.
But if that's okay, that's what I would like to do.
Okay, so I'll put this again next month because that'll be June.
Yep,
All right,
So we've taken a total of 230.
because the May taxes will have come in.
okay. All right, so, but, just to be clear, I'm gonna be getting this report monthly, but I just thought that because I got the report,
That's what
it
was
meant that it was a quarter,
anticipated
so.
taken in. We've taken in 95%.
225, 10,000 last meeting.
You all set, Paul?
Yep.
Okay. All right, number 8, review and approve meeting minutes for April 18th, 2024. Does anybody have any edits for this? I gave Sue my little edit prior to circulating it, so I'm good with it.
Motion to accept the minutes of April 18, 2024.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Roll call.
Yates, aye.
Oh, aye.
Kathleen?
Wake up Kathleen.
Kathleen? Hello?
Except on
Here,
minutes.
yeah,
Okay, roll call vote to accept the minutes.
okay, the minutes.
Okay. McEcker and I.
Spiller, aye.
Ignore the FaceTime thing.
Oh, whoa.
Stand
I
aside.
had to just scan myself. She just put me on FaceTime.
Nancy's in favor, yeah.
Okay, that's all. All right, we got the minutes approved. Our next meeting date is June 20th at 6:30. Council on Aging. I know we seem to be timing these meetings with ZBA.
Yeah.
Perhaps we'll try to get them earlier
Yeah.
going,
June 20th.
you know, as well. So
You say 6:30?
we might discuss getting it at 5:30 again. So, do you hear that, Kathleen? Even though it says 6:30 on this agenda, we may consider moving it to 5:30 again, just in case people want to attend the ZBA and it's on the same date.
Summer begins.
Okay, so,
Yeah, the ZBA meetings for Rocky Woods are coming up on Thursday night. so-
anything else to come before the committee?
No, motion to adjourn?
So you
All right, I have a motion.
Second.
And a
Come here
second.
and then go there.
All in favor to adjourn?
Yates, aye.
Aye. Oh, aye.
Kathleen,
Yes.
okay.
Motion to adjourn. Kathleen. McEcker and I.
Spiller, aye.
Stand aside. LaFave,
All right.
6:28. Awesome.